Hi guys, Mishu here, and in this video I would like to show you how you can print the elements of a list in one line. So normally the first thing that we as beginners learn is how to iterate through a list and how to print the elements of a list in a column, meaning let's iterate through the first list, which is a list of strings. For letter in list of letter numbers, print letter. And let's run this code and see what happens. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are strings, but they are printed one under another, and that's not what we want. We want them to be printed in one line. So one way to do that is to add this function in Python and equals, let's put this empty space, which is not even a space. And what happens is that now it iterates through the list and it prints all the strings one after another in one line. But this is not what we want. So we want there to be a spacebar between them so we can read them. And now this looks better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if we want to put a comma between the numbers, like so, we can put the comma, and that looks good up to here, because unfortunately Python puts the comma after each string element of the list that it prints, and this doesn't look very pretty. There could be ways around it by writing a lot of code, like we can add an if function here that checks if we have reached the last element of the list, using also the length len list function to see how many the elements are, and once we reach the final one we don't put this, blah blah blah. But that's possible, but it would require us to write a lot of code, and let's see how we can avoid doing that. And we can do that by using the join function. And how do we do that? We we want a comma separator, but we don't want it at the end. And now we use the join function, and we put the list letter numbers here. We run the code, and voila, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 separated by commas, but we don't have a comma at the end, and that's perfect. That's what we want. If we want to put maybe a dot at the end, we could possibly, and I'm now improvising a little, I think we could do it this way, and let's see if it will work. Yeah. So what I did here is I still use the end function, which tells Python that we're still staying on the same line, and then I just print the dot, which comes right after the last string. So we can also do that, and we can put at the end whatever we want, some other sign if we prefer. Let's see how this works with the list of integers. So with the list of strings, this worked fine. Let's see how it works with the list of numbers. List of numbers. We run the code. Oh, there's a mistake. There's an error message, and the error comes because the join function can only work if we have strings here. So that's a problem. And the way to solve this problem is simply to convert this list of integers into a list of strings, which we would do in the following way. We will create a new list number string, which will be the same as the list number. But we are going to map this into a string, like so. And here we're going to print this new list that we just created, which is this list converted into strings. And let's see, now it works. Same numbers, they're printed here. And these numbers here now, they're not integers, but they are strings. And if we want this new list, which right now it's not exactly a list, it's an object. If we want it really to be a list, we have to convert it into a list, and I run the program with the same result. But we can also print the list number strings so that we can see that this list of numbers, which was a list of integers, was first converted into a list of strings with the same numbers, but they're now strings. And then we can use the join function in the way we wanted it. And voila, this solves our problems. We can now print the list of numbers into one line. We can separate it by commas, and we don't have anything at the end. And if we do want something in the end, we know what to do. We use the end function, and then we do another print of whatever we want to have at the very end. Let's say we want a dot. I hope this was useful, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.